Welcome to the classroom, students. It is I, Professor Phoenix. Welcome back. I hope you guys have had a great week. It's only been a couple days since I last saw some of you, but I hope you've had a good couple days nonetheless. Ooh, boy. I'd tell you, it's been a hell of a week. I don't really know how to summon the energy to talk about so many things that happened last week. I barely got through the Subnautica stream, but thankfully I was distracted because there was a lot of stuff to do there. And hopefully I can distract myself today. I hope I don't come off as too low energy for anyone today, but I am quite exhausted. I have been sleeping so badly these last couple nights. I don't know why. Oh! Woo! Oh, nothing happened in the Subnautica stream. It's what happened before the Subnautica stream. Today we're going to be working on some Racer Royale. We have a rocket car that is working beautifully. You know, aesthetics aside, the mechanics are all there. What happened before the Subnautica stream? Okay. For anyone who isn't aware, I'm sure most of you are aware of this at this point, but the user known as Lady Mandalorian is no longer welcome on stream. Yes, yeah, that I've I was just trying to put a plug on it over the weekend because I was really bummed out about what happened. But it's been really affecting me these last couple days because it was just a very nasty argument. Oh. And the things they said were in the DMs were very unkind, and I've just been stewing over them. And as some of you may or may not know, I've known this person for ever since high school. So it's just a very upsetting thing to have happen. I wish it hadn't happened. Oh, that's blocked off. Anyway. And I'm just trying to distract myself from it. It's also been a couple exhausting days at home. I realized I don't have nearly as much money as I was hoping. I figured out I was wasting a whole ton of it because I've been living vicariously, quote unquote. So, yeah, been a rough couple of days. And then I remembered, oh yeah, Halloween is next week. Oh, and I don't have anything prepared. I literally don't have anything prepared. I really don't know what to do for it. I think we could just play a scary game. But besides that, I don't really know. Plus I got some, sorry, just clean my keyboard. Yeah, just been stewing in the negative energy the past couple days. In any case, let's focus back on this. Yes, very interesting ramps. So, funny story how I made these. Actually, before I give that, let's play some music for you guys so you have something to listen to besides my voice. Let's do... Boy, it would be a good one. Let's not do video game lo-fi. Let's do, like... maybe a specific game lo-fi? Fortnite lobby music. I don't think I could get away with that. I think I'd get demonetized. Fortnite lo-fi. Let's see if there's a channel for that. But at this point, what does it matter? Oh, there is. Oh my god. There is Fortnite lo-fi. I mean, probably not. If it's Fortnite music, we're probably fine. Just so long as it doesn't play any other music. Like, I was thinking of Rocket League lobby for some reason. Let's see how this goes. If we don't like it, we can change it. And there we go. I mean, that's not Fortnite, but... Or are you just using the Fortnite screen? Oh. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. There it is. Yeah, we'll listen to this for a little while. Why the hell not? I did love this music. OG Fortnite. Those were the days. Okay, so back to the ramps. So the funny story was, when I was first making this, I was like, okay, I need to test the car going up slopes because I knew that the car was having difficulty getting up stuff. So I was like, okay, I'll just start making some ramps. I made this first one. I was like, okay, I'll make it a 5-degree angle. I was like, okay, how do I make it quickly so I can calculate a 10-degree angle? And then I just discovered, oh, well, if I just increase the size of this back vertices by 10 units, it'll give me a 10-degree angle. And I just ended up repeating that for all the ramps. But by the time we reached 100, the calculation had become like 1,000, and it got stupid out of hand. And have any cars made up that? No. The farthest I've ever made it up was the 60 ramp. With that, I can struggle to get up there. Everything else, it's just way too steep. Especially the 90. Yeah, sure, why not? Now with all the new mechanics and whatnot, let's give it a shot. Especially with the boost. So, what seems to be the winner? There's a couple contenders right now. So, 45 is the standard. Yeah, see, this is no problem. Whee! So glad I have this now. Okay, so... I can tell you for sure what's not going to win. People were not very excited about... like... all the new games I put on. Which I was kind of surprised by. I thought for sure some people would be interested in, like... what was it? Suika? No, Spider-Man 2 is doing fine. It's the Suika game I thought would be doing a lot better. And granted, I only, looked at the first votes. It's not final yet. But, yeah, Spider-Man 2 is doing okay. It's not leading the pack right now. And yeah, I figured it's probably just because most people don't know what it is. Yeah, let's try 70. Oh! See, the problem is getting grip on the wall. Oh, and then staying there. Do it, do it, do it! You can do it! Yes! I got up to 70. Oh, that's funny. I had to rocket it, but I did it. All right, let's see if I can get up to the 80. Okay. Because technically I should be able to get up a 90-degree wall, right? Ow, ow, ow. Oh, that's an 85. Right, that's not a 90. I need like a sheer wall. Yeah, because the problem with these is that the wheels just don't want to stay down. Woo! Okay, yeah. Without rockets, that's impossible. Oh, okay, what else is doing well? Baba Is You is doing pretty well. Dead Cells doing okay. The one that was leading last time... Uh-oh. What was leading last time? That got runner-up. I forget. I really want Spider-Man 2 as well. Okay, funny story. The only reason this is working, woo, is because the boost forces the car into the ramp. Yo, that's some distance. I do have a PS5, yes. So I am ready to get it at any time. So this is one of my problems right here. I just wanted to point out. The car is too floaty. Because once it hits the air, it's hitting like 100 miles per hour. Boom. And when that happens, the car just doesn't want to fall at all because it takes forever for it to zero out, right? But increasing the gravity, I don't think is the right move. It's only on PS5. Yeah, I mean, it's an exclusive, right? So it's one of their best exclusives. I'm not surprised. Is the air drag proportional to the speed? No, but that's a really good idea. I could increase the force on the car depending on how fast it's going. Ooh. What do you think will win Game of the Year? That's a really tough call. Oh, man. Oh, I mean, there's the top two obviously have got to be Tears of the Kingdom and Baldur's Gate 3, right? But now Spider-Man 2 has come out and it's throwing its crown into the ring. Can't forget about Final Fantasy 16. I don't know if that would be Game of the Year contender. It might be. It's definitely one for adventure. But man, Tears of the Kingdom, I mean, and Baldur's Gate 3, those are some heavy hitters. Starfield, no. Diablo 4, hell no. Jedi Survivor? I haven't played that yet, so I don't know. Yeah, Starfield did not have the impact people were hoping for. For how long it was in development, Starfield did not live up to expectations. I mean, it's cool and all, and it wasn't a disaster like some people thought it would be. But, yeah. It's just another Bethesda game. And it's not Elder Scrolls. So, alright. Let's go ahead and change the music. We can't listen to this all day. Let's do some Minecraft. Why is it default to frickin' 4K? Adds multiple things to the game plus every time you beat it up until the 6th time. Interesting. You would think they'd add everything after the first time, but leave it to Bethesda to know how to pad a game. Okay, so I like that idea. Let's see what we can do about the air drag. Do I have BB car open? I don't. So normally the gravity, let's just look at what we have for gravity right now. You know what I honestly want to do while I'm opening this? I want to start streaming on Mondays and Tuesdays. And I want to just do this. Because I'm having so much fun working on this. Like the last couple streams I've done of this have just been so much fun. Be an extra thing to do on Mondays and Tuesdays. I'm basically doing it anyway. Hey Constant, how's it going? If I make it official, at least it'll force me to stream on those days. And I can always just say, I'm not into it, guys. I need my day off. Exactly. Do I want to stream every day? I mean, I'm basically working on the game anyway, so I'm chillaxing as much as I could. So, what really would change, right? So that's the big question. God dang it, where is this blueprint? Vehicles. God, I'm blind today. I don't really get it. My enthusiasm. That's a good point. If I do it every day, I might lose my enthusiasm for it. That's a good point. I want to be careful about that. Alright, let's go ahead and increase the scale so you guys can actually read stuff. Yeah, that should be good. Maybe a bit too much. Okay, we're going to go to gravity. We do have a gravity one. Yeah. Is it a fighting game with cars? Essentially, kind of. So it's more of a racing game that's also a battle royale. Oh, so yeah, let me bring you up to speed. So the idea is you are in a racing game with like 99 other people, 100 different cars, or however much it ends up being. And your goal is to stay in the lead or above the death line. So in the main mode, I have several different modes. I'm thinking of the first one being speed, car, racing. Exactly. So yeah, my idea was, what if you had like kind of a Fall Guys-esque approach to a racing game? Like, you go through several different tracks, and every track you cut off like 25, 20 people, and you just go through that until you have a final race, and then you crown a winner. And then you could have all sorts of different ways of doing that. You could have just regular races, time trials, obstacle courses, battling, which I think would actually be a lot of fun in cars, and mini games. You know, whatever strikes our fancy. We've already come up with a couple fun ones. And the idea was like, what if you had Rocket League style cars, but they were in a racing game instead of just Rocket League? Basically F-Zero 99 with farmer modes. Exactly. Yeah, that's... F-Zero 99 stole my idea. But obviously this would be in 3D and much more, like I said, much more Fall Guys-esque, so there's a lot more to do. You know, it's not just a racing game, it's not just a Battle Royale game. There's a whole bunch of stuff to do, and hopefully people will enjoy that. Fortnite Creative, but with cars? I don't know, I haven't played Fortnite Creative, so I can't really answer that. Okay, so we have a force of gravity right here. It is 100,000. I just realized I have this as a magic number, so I'm going to promote this to a variable, and we're going to call it force of gravity, just so we can edit that whenever we need to. I did compile. Boom, 100K. All right, so we can edit that. Just for argument's sake, let's make this a lot bigger and see how that changes the car. And we'll go from there. I think it'd be really interesting to have a stage that's gimmick is that gravity is really increased. Oh, so super gravity. Interesting. Okay, tell me how that would play out. Like, yeah, how would that play out? Low gravity. Oh yeah, that's going to be one of the ideas for sure. Like a low gravity stage, people would freaking love that. Let's play with that, because yeah, if you're going to do a low gravity, you should also do a pinned gravity, like. So the question is, what's the theme? There should be a theme to make it work. Like magnets. Indeed. That's going to be one of my first goals. Is I'll release an alpha, see how you guys enjoy it. You know, obviously fix bugs, see what modes you guys are interested in, see what else I can add. You know, do it the proper way. You know, and of course you guys are going to be my very first playtesters because you are my favorite people. Oh God. No, don't fix bugs. Bugs are the fun part. Okay, so the increased gravity doesn't appear to be doing too bad, but also it's resisting the rocket power quite a bit. But not too much. Okay. So let's fall off a cliff and see what happens. Okay, so let's see if I can go over a ramp. Okay, things got a little dicey there. So this is the problem with the increased gravity. It makes going through these loops a lot harder. And honestly, you want to be able to go through loops like this when you're, you know, moving fast. Oh, look how that car is digging into the track. But with adequate speed, you should be able to get over it. Okay, let's try the really sharp curve. Whoa. Actually, it's not too bad, all things considered. Alright, now let's go off a ramp and see how gravity treats us. Oh my god, my aim sucks. Okay, that's another thing I'm going to have to fix. Centering the camera. I think the camera should default to right behind the car unless you move it, and then should swing back like a spring. Because right now I'm not happy with what I got here. Hey, that was pretty good. That was pretty natural. Alright, now let's go up this sheer cliff face. Don't fall. The other's on the sun? One stage is on the sun. The theme is you're dead. That would be a lot of fun, though. Okay, so this is the problem. The gravity is throwing the car off the track. It doesn't want to keep the traction. But having said that, it still worked out pretty well. This might be a good gravity level. So basically I just climbed a 90-degree wall. Very difficult to tell because of the textures. Whee! With gravity, you should... Oh man, you could get really fast with gravity's aid. I don't like the fact that it's bouncing. Going down the ramp. Why is it doing that? It's because the suspension is resisting the push of gravity, which is getting higher because the car is, Yeah, that was interesting. Oh, did you see that? I fell down super fast. Ooh, yes. Okay. Wow, I'm super happy with that. That was like exactly the type of fall I wanted. I guess the car was too floaty. Holy hell. So now we'll just have to adjust the suspension mechanics around that. Okay, so let me explain what I'm looking at. Because you haven't been here from the start. So you see those wheels that's holding up the car? There's actually no wheels interacting with the ground. As you can see, it's clipping through the ground. What is actually happening is that I have 4 big lasers shooting from my car into the ground, like big spotlights. And I have a code that says, however much that laser is compressed between the car and the ground, will act like a spring and push the car back up. I'm doing this because it's a lot easier to calculate and control. But as a result, I basically have a spring car, springs for wheels, so you can understand that when I'm going through unique situations, like going up that ramp, the springs are acting weird too. So I need to adjust the mechanics so that they don't do that. Gravity might be a touch too heavy, but besides that, it's actually pretty nice. So let's look at the side from the car. You can, yeah, look at this. The car shouldn't be doing that. The car should not be shifting into the ground every frame, but I know why it's doing that. So technically speaking, let me show the vertices. Which view is that? This one. Technically speaking, this is not a smooth surface, it's a set of vertices. Every time I go over one of these lines, oh, this one right here. This is technically 2 flat planes that I'm switching between. Because there's not that many vertices on this ramp in comparison how big it is, it's like I'm going from one flat plane to the next, which is what's causing that woo, woo, woo. Because every time I cross a flat plane, one of my suspensions is compressed and the other is raised. So it's like shoo shoo, shoo shoo, shoo shoo, and it's bouncing the car. The fix to that is to increase the vertices count for the ramp, which I can do. So that's actually not a mechanical problem, so we can avoid that. Oh, I know what I need to test. I need to test the loop-de-loop. Everything reminds you of school? Really? Why? Oh god, but look at this. So this is half the problem. The gravity is so deep that my car is essentially grinding into the track. Because the gravity, combined with my speed pushing the car into the track, is basically making an endless collision with the body. So my springs do need to be more powerful, or the gravity needs to be weakened. Let's weaken the gravity. I think I can get away with maybe 400k instead of 500k. Let's see how that works. Because everything I'm doing, geometry and physics right now, and I see a lot of geometry involved, her magnitudes involved. Yeah. That's another thing I'm going to do. I'm going to make it so that there are tracks where you're kind of magnetized to the ground so you can't fall off, even if you're upside down. Like, we'll have sections like this that are like free flow. Tracks where you can fall off like this, but there are others where it's like, it'll just be easier to have them magnetized, just so people can stay on the track and not fall off if they slow down too much. Yeah, I'm having a lot of trouble keeping this thing on the track, because the more collision there is, the harder it is to steer the car, because it's jumping all over the place, which you can tell by that red laser, which is the needle, which is telling me how much the car is bouncing, and it is bouncing. Yeah, I agree. I think I need to increase the spring strength. But I hate increasing the spring strength because... Or maybe I should just raise the springs instead of... Ooh, yeah, let's do that instead. If I raise the springs, that might fix the problem, rather than having to increase the strength. We'll see. Okay, so it's not impossible to do the loop-de-loop. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Crap. 400k. That's still a pretty reasonable gravitational fall. All right, so now let's go to the suspensions. To the lasers. BP suspension component. Make it so if you crash, you blow up. Yeah, Lizard. That was one of the things I was planning to do. A demolition factor. Because right now we have it so that every time you collide with something, depending on how much speed you lose, you actually drop boost power for anyone behind you. And I figured using the same mechanic, I could use it to calculate if you lose this much speed, you'll be destroyed. No, you're right. I definitely got to increase the strength of that spring. I just got to do it gradually, because man, nothing breaks the system faster than adjusting the springs. I just want explosions. Let's see. So the three factors that go into the strength of the spring is the length, the coil strength, and the suspension distance. So the spring coefficient is the strength of the spring, which we have at 3,000. I want to see if I can increase the suspension distance of the car and fix the problem. Because the car is already clipping through the ground. So this is something I had to do anyway. So hopefully I can just change the value. I had it to twice the distance of the wheel. Let's try 2.5 times. Okay. That's too much. You can tell already I'm hovering above the ground. Um, 140. It should appear as if the car is gliding above the ground while in contact with it. That's almost right. Not quite, though. And this is what I was afraid of. I don't think this will solve the problem. You can tell the fakeness of the wheels. Yeah, you really can. Okay, that looks like it's contacting the ground. Barely. Let's see if it works on a ramp. If this doesn't work, yeah, we'll just have to go straight to increasing the spring coefficient, because we cannot, I cannot stress this enough, cannot increase the force of that spring too much, or the whole thing falls apart. Okay, that helped a little bit, but it still has a problem. Crap. So yeah, that settles it. I have to increase the strength, and I'll keep it back to its original distance because it's going to increase how much it compresses. Oh, and the damping coefficient. I forgot about that. That doesn't really have much of an effect, though. And the falling off is totally me. Yeah, I'm just not paying attention. All right, we're going to be very gradual with this, because this is the one of the most sensitive numbers on the entire system. And it's still not working quite right. Okay, so I'm not going to be worried too much about the hover right now. I just need to see how much of a spring do I need to make the loop-de-loop without looking like a fool. Then we'll adjust from there. Because this is a pretty standard loop. Yeah, it's still colliding. It is better, though. The worst collision comes on the way back down and the way up, which makes sense because gravity is working against it most there. That actually wasn't bad. Let's go up another 100. Go from there. I want to switch the music. Wonder if there's like Undertale lo-fi. No, I get in trouble for that. I've actually been demonetized for doing Undertale music. Which I am no longer surprised by, because now that I know that's the most popular video game music of all time, that's like, oh, well, of course you would be protecting it online. Still surprised that that's the fact. Of all the music, Undertale is the most popular. At least the most viewed and most listened to. Oh, it's almost there. Ugh. Does this make anyone else sick? Ugh. I think the camera's too close. I think I gotta change the camera when it's on ramps. This is... Ooh. It's gotta zoom out a little bit. Just because this is hard to... If you zoom that camera in too far on loop-de-loop, you're gonna make yourself sick. Oh, that's gonna be a weakness, isn't it? I plan on adding the other camera types, but that'll make it harder for them on some tracks. That would really suck. We'll work around it, one thing at a time. I can't hear this music at all. Everything's crashing. Why? Did 31 million views. Nice. And I do respect the hell out of Amazing Digital Circus. The polish of the animation on that is actually really nice. Like, I'm really surprised how great that animation is. It is crisp, it looks good, and it's satisfying to look at. Like, nothing about that animation screamed out as bad to me. It was so good. It was plenty funny. It had some nice music. So Amazing Digital Circus is a new series that just came out on YouTube. It's an indie work, and the premise is that a girl puts on a VR set. I think that's what it was, a VR headset, and suddenly she wakes up in a digital world in a different body, and is trapped there with other people who are also trapped there, with no way out, forced to do endless cartoon challenges for a show called The Amazing Digital Circus. And there's a lot of implications as to who's running the show, who created this world, and the showrunner, Kane, who, you know, there's so many theories on. And, it's pretty good so far. It's only got one episode out. But I think it's an interesting concept. I just wish they had given us more of a goal to go for. Because it's a really great hook. It really is. The problem is that the goal, by the end, is kind of taken away from us. It's like, oh, well, then why should I keep watching? You know what I mean? I mean, obviously the goal remains the same. But I felt a little... I was sad by the end, you know? It's a psychological horror comedy. Yeah, basically. Yeah, it's like, what the hell's going on here? These people have been trapped here for a long time. And if you stay there too long, you abstract, which you become like this glitched out monster that gets locked away. Because eventually you go insane. Because who wouldn't go insane in a situation like that? And a profanity filter. Yes, it's a family-friendly psychological horror show. Sounds worse than Spider-Man 2. I mean, probably is, but it's still good. I think it's like 25 minutes long, so not bad. I mean, I gave a chance to VZ Pop and Has Been Hotel, and now that's one of my favorite series, is anything VZ Pop makes. I'm still having trouble. I don't want to increase it by 1,000. That's too much. But that car is just grinding. Okay, let's work backwards. Let's go higher and then go back from there. You see, because now it's bouncing too much. I have not seen anything. I literally do not own the game. I have not seen any clips, and I'm trying to keep it that way. Okay, 4,000 appears to be the number we need to start with. Okay, well that's good. Oh no, I'm still grinding a little bit. God dang it. Once I get up to speed. Still finding that Pomni heard about the prophetic element to try to say a bunch of... yeah, I would do it too. It's like, okay, let's have fun with this. It's a temptation you can't resist. Oh yeah, and the main character's name becomes Pomni because no one can remember who they are or what their names were. They just know that they're not supposed to be there. Which I think is an interesting addition to it, because it's like, if they remembered their past lives, it would give them all the more reason to want to leave. But what if they are in fact just digital characters who think they're not supposed to be there and think that they're from the real world? Just a theory. but we'll see. Like I said, by the end of the episode, I was actually really sad because it's like, oh, I feel bad, you know. What hope we had during the episode was kind of snatched away. And it's like, okay, well, hopefully they'll have like more of a through line in the second episode. Are we? I don't know. After beating Legendary Mode, Terraria mode, what do you think will be next? You know what? I honestly don't know. The sole reason I came back to Terraria was because I wanted to try Legendary Mode. And once that's done, it's like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to keep doing Terraria, you know? Not until the next update. And is that even worth another playthrough, you know? It's like I've said, I became quite burnt out on Terraria. Okay. So we have a problem. Even something as high as that is still not working. It may be impossible to get what I'm looking for. Modded Subnautica? I mean, that hasn't even crossed my mind. I would like to find another multiplayer game to play, though. Right here, this is the test. Wow, it has to be 10,000 to resist a full power loop-de-loop. Controls there, though. Right, it's a mod thing. And people were mentioning that it's actually really buggy. Sorry, I got a cramp. Or something close to a cramp. Oh, it's going away already, thank God. Ah. God damn. Oh. Yeah. And I would prefer a multiplayer experience that wasn't so untrustworthy. Cyclops sending you to the abyss if you make a wrong move, Buggy. Lovely. And not Minecraft. I think I officially just don't like Minecraft. Which, you know, is such a weird thing. Everyone loves Minecraft and I just don't. Can't stand it. Did I bounce? Kind of did. Let's see what happens if I fall off the edge. Ooh, nothing? So wait. What? There's got to be a downfall to having a spring that bouncy. Fortnite. Well, here's the thing. I know that Fortnite is like one of the most popular games in the world. It's constantly coming out with new crap. But I'm just not a PvP guy. Even OG Fortnite I wasn't really that into. And there's something about Fortnite that's really cringe now. That's a lot more natural. Whoa. You know, one of the biggest modders in the Minecraft community got hired by Mojang. Really? That's fun. I mean, modders should be recognized by the game company. Can't get motivation to play. Yeah. See, I'm in the same boat. I just can't do it. Wow. I'm a little shocked. Thought there would be more of a problem with increasing things to 10,000. Oh, that's actually really natural. Wow. Oh, you know what it was? It's because I think we shut down the pitch modification so hard, so there's no way for the spring back to be abused anymore. So it kind of solved the problem for us. Interesting. Okay. You know what? I'll keep it at 10,000 then. It's a very strong spring, so why the hell not? So now we can just take the official suspension distance, lower it a bit more, and we should be good. Make it so that car is officially touching the ground. It's a strong spring for a strong gravity. Indeed. And my worry is that because it was such a strong spring, it would just never stop bouncing, but apparently something was corrected with that, because it's bouncy, but it's not excessively bouncy. It has to be that fix I did to the compression ratio. It couldn't have been anything else. Yay! Okay, so I can have my cake and eat it too. Even though I hate cake. Well, I don't hate cake. I hate chocolate cake. Mostly because I hate chocolate. I like cake. Cake's pretty good. It's gotta be the right flavor cake, though. It's gotta be vanilla. Or strawberry. That's even a thing. Okay, so next task. I want to work on that second jump. I've been trying to get the jump mechanics working for so long. Screw it. That's what we'll do next. Jumping ability. I've been saying I'll be doing jumping for like a month now, 2 months now, and I haven't done it. So let's fix that. Okay. So, based on the height of this car, the current height distance is about half this pole, which is about the height of the car. And that's one jump. What's wrong with chocolate? I've never liked chocolate. I think it's one of the few things that I take pride in, that I'm different from everyone else about. I don't like chocolate. Never have. The only chocolate I've ever enjoyed is chocolate frosting on a donut, which doesn't count, and Tootsie Rolls. I don't like ice cream. I don't like pie. Most dairy is not my cup of tea. Most desserts and sweets. I do like candy, though. Half of candy. Pizza? You don't like pizza? Oh my god. That is crazy. I mean, you don't... Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, wow. Wow. I'm sorry. I know you've mentioned this. It's so hard keeping track of everything. I'm sorry. Switching music again. I mean, I like pineapple on pizza. That's another thing that ostracizes me. Okay, so jumping distance. I'm going to shut down the suspension components for now because I just don't think we need it. Okay, so jump. Oh, there's the event graph. Final Fantasy VII Lo-Fi. Let's go. All right, so we have a jump. I betrayed the classroom. Oh, well, the things just escalated. Okay, so we have an impulse, which is a one-time force on the car. And we just have a number of jump force. What? Pizza parties at school. Oh yeah, those are really common. That's always like the default they do. Because most people like pizza, so it's easiest to please the most number of people. Except you. You got left out. Oh, that's sad. Okay. We need to give you like a soup party. Doesn't matter. Okay, so jump force is currently at 225,000. Let's remember that number and go to 400k and see what kind of scale we're dealing with. How high do you think a car should be able to jump, you know, in a game like this? That's probably too high. Especially, oh god, there's the bounciness I was worried about. Very particular about your soup. Well, I would imagine. You literally named yourself after the thing. Tomato soup. I technically love soup so much because ramen is like my favorite thing. Not the same thing, but you know, cousins of each other. Okay, so using the poll as a reference, that seems to be just about where I'd want a car to be able to jump for. I don't like the bounciness though. But that's just the suspension having its fun. In fact, that might actually be a fun factor, because the faster I'm going, the less bouncy I am. Why can't I slow down when I hold down the back button? That's the next thing I'll be working on. I only asked about considering ramen soup. I guess it could count. I mean, it's not a soup. Like I said, they're like cousins. It's like, it's a soup with pasta in it. So it's not pasta, even though it is. It's not soup, even though it is. It's the two combined to make something else entirely. Cereal is candy soup. Get out of here. God, what was that? Oh, the camera was freaking out for a second. Honestly, that's a pretty solid jump. One, two, three, four. 4 bounces. That's too much. 1, 2. Whoa, hold on. Did you see that? The bounce was higher than the jump. Oh no, it's inconsistent. Oh no, that's not gonna fly, dude. So sometimes it bounces. Whoa! Sometimes it doesn't bounce at all. God, that's not good. Okay, so that's clearly a result of the springs. Why would it be inconsistent, though? What could cause that? So car's coming down. Hits the ground. Suspensions decrease. The springs coil. Then the coils spring back up and add an impulse to the car. Damn it, I have to look at the suspension components again. Gravity is adding force to the car. So the higher the car goes, the more bounce back it could have. Because the more the spring compresses, the more it shoots back. But why would some bounces have 2 to 3 times the power of a regular suspension? You know what it probably is? It probably has something to do with the differences in each individual suspension, because they're all calculating their own recoil. Oh! That's gotta be it. There's 4 different suspensions, and each of them is applying a force to the car individually. And where they apply the suspension... Where's the location? Is that every suspension? Oh, no, that's not it. I was thinking if I was just applying the force to the car itself, if they were all in the same position, it would make sense that if each one was triggering at different times, they would add to each other and create a higher bounce. But no. The suspensions are effectively acting at the same time. This is a completely flat surface. The car is not moving. But that doesn't mean the car isn't going to move a little bit every time it jumps. I mean, look at that. You see the car going side to side? It is moving a little bit while it's in the air, because the suspensions are not perfect. Right? They're all positioned equal distance to each other, but once you calculate physics, basically you're just hoping for a consistent result. Damn. I wanted to fix that too. The drift while it's in the air. A car, when the car jumps, it should not drift side to side. So why is it now? It's so hard to tell, but it's definitely there. Like, okay, let's get a hard measurement. The pole is my center. Okay. When I jump, I shouldn't drift. I am centered on the pole. And now I'm to the left of the pole. But why? Why would the jump drift while in the air? That's so interesting. Unless the suspensions did not trigger at the same time. I mean, the jump to the car is half the fun, right? But if we're going to jump, it's got to be consistent. See what you did in Subnautica. I saw that you built the Cyclops and then left it behind at the Aurora because you got eaten. I saw the screenshot you took. And then you didn't have the propulsion cannon. Is that what you're referring to? Ow. When is the jump? It's like happening right at the jump. Whoa, what was that? Oh, you didn't get eaten, my bad. Your sea moth got eaten. That's right. And the suspensions are consistent when you fall on them. That's an interesting rule. Man, if I could just measure how much I'm moving. No, I'm still drifting on the bounce back. Still drifting now. I didn't even think about it. What if my side-to-side forces, my counter forces, are activating while I'm in the air? That could be a problem. Because I have a left-right counter speed that's supposed to activate whenever I'm moving, so that my drifting while I'm normally driving is mitigated substantially. When does it activate? When the components are touching the surface, check the angles, and then just constantly provide a force. Well, let's see what's activated when we run this sucker. Right now we have one counter speed active. Is active at all times, which makes sense because when I'm in the air, it's not active. It stops. Wow, very bouncy car. I think I'm starting to see the... Look at this nonsense. I'm not pressing anything. Wow, how can we be having such different results at the bounce? So this is what I was afraid of right here. This is what I was afraid of with the spring force. Is there a difference? Yes. I have two suspension vectors, front and back. Because I calculate the front of the car and the back of the car's vector at all times. So with that, when I add force, I'm centering it instead of focusing on each individual vector. Okay, so we have several problems. The jump is causing the car to drift side to side. It's not moving front and back. Ooh, actually, let's test that. Is it moving front and back? Because if it is, that proves that the jump, it's just the suspensions that are to blame. But if the car is not moving front and back, I'll need proof. Then that shows that something left to right is going wrong instead of front to back. All right, here we go. That one moves back. It's not as bad, though. Yeah, if anything, it's hardly moving front and back at all. It is a little bit, but it's so tiny. And you guys probably can't see my red laser at all. I haven't been able to get it to move in 10 jumps. So it's drifting from side to side, but not front and back? Is that even possible? Okay, that went a little forward. So did that. Red laser. Oh yeah, so look at the center of the car, you can see like a little red laser there. I'm constantly drawing a red laser from the center of my car, just so I can tell what the angle of my vector is. It was something I put there a while ago, just so I could diagnose the car's angular momentum, and I've kept it there because it's a good indicator for the position of the car. I mean, I'll get rid of it eventually, but... And I'm using it against the pole to see if it's drifting. And it is moving front and back, but it's very slight. Very slight. Which means that whatever is working front to back is more effective than left to right. But they use the same logic. Front and back counter speed will not activate if the W or S buttons are down, and under the same circumstances of whether my suspensions are touching or not. So they're activating under the same circumstances. Which is what I need. But I need the car to stop moving. So, each of the suspensions is pushing up at the same time. But what that does not explain is why the jump is causing me to drift. The jump is quite simply one impulse, which is being applied at the up vector of the car. Which should be the center. Is it possible that the car is not centered, resulting in the force being off ever so slightly when it pushes up? So effectively, every time I push the jump button, it's like something is hitting the car at a certain point. And if it's centered, it should go straight up, because the car is being hit straight up. But if the jump is causing... excuse me. If the jump is causing the car to go in slightly different directions, that means that it's not centered. The problem is that the drift is random. If it was always one side, it would be a centered problem. But it's not. It's left or right, and by different amounts. Which means that the force is being applied evenly, it's just not executing evenly. So it's gotta be something happening after the jump. It has to. I don't know where to start with this. need to remove variables. It is drifting from side to side. It is drifting front and back. And the jump force is one clean force. Yeah, left to right is so much more distinctive than front to back. Right. Hit the pole. Kind of. Center. 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 Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right. Not getting any information from this. I need more data. What on earth could be causing this? There's no wind. You know what it could be? It could be that when I activate the jump, after I leave the ground, my suspension components are still touching the ground. Which means that my left, right, and front back counter speeds are still activating and pushing the car ever so slightly. Then stop activating because they're not, because once you get far enough into the air, it won't work. Let's test that theory. It won't hurt to try this, so let's add a caveat to both of these. That says you cannot activate this unless is jumped is false. Or jumped, rather. I don't know if this is a good idea. Well, we're here. Might as well try it. My fear is that if I have this not activating when it's jumping, when I'm in the air, I'll continue to flip. But we'll see. Just to ensure. Jump to is set to false. After a delay of 1 second, it's set back to false. Let's try it. This is the only thing I can think of. Because those are the only things that could activate on this car while it's in the air. Everything else would not be able to activate. Okay, so let's test. Oh, it's looking promising. Yo, it's not moving at all. Yes. I think that was it. Oh, dude, I think it's perfect. Well, hold on. It is moving ever so slightly. It's the tiniest hint of movement. But it's not enough to make any significant difference. I know why, too. Because there's a short window of time between when the 1 second passes and you touch the ground with your suspensions. In that short amount of time, a small bit of force is applied to the car, so it moves ever so slightly while it's already on the way down. So the question is, should I increase the jump timer to be longer than 1 second? I managed to fix the drifting problem. I identified that the suspensions were still triggering as touching the ground even after jump was activated. So I just had to make it so that once it says the car has jumped, stop applying counter speeds and it'll stop moving. There is still a tiny window where it's happening, but it's so short it's not making any sort of significant changes. I'm just seeing if I can remove that window altogether, because right now the window is when it's on its way back down. After a second has passed, the jump timer says, okay, you can jump again, and the wheels are coming back down and the suspensions hit the ground, counter speed activates, and then it moves it a little bit. It's not enough time to make significant difference. Well, I'm now checking to see if the jump timer could be lengthened. Wow. Whatever's happening is significant. Okay. So currently, the jump cannot be reactivated oh, hold on. When I press the key, jump is set to true. And I see if the first jump activated has been set to false. If it's false, then make it true at the impulse. I release it. Jump delay timer goes for a second and then turns jumped off. Imagine leaving that in 1,000 hours down the line. Pro players using that as tech for something, right? That's the type of thing that you're secretly debating in your head whether it's worth fixing or not, and it becomes like the speedrun strat or whatever. We're focusing on the jump anyway, so I think I have a problem here. When is first jump activated becoming false? When is it turning back off? I think that's a lot shorter. Event graph, pitch shifting, jump check. It's got to be jump check. Why is it in pitch shifting? It doesn't matter. Jump check. Okay. So, this is firing off every tick. Once jumped is false. While it is false, first jump activated must be false, as is second jump. So long, once the timer runs out, the next tick, everything follows suit. That's good. Although I could just have these change in my jump function. This is kind of redundant. But I have another check here, which is not redundant, which asks, are any of my suspensions touching the surface, or is my wheels down flag activated? Or is the speed of the car under 0.1, which would be next to impossible for that car to hit? If any of that is true, then set to false. But if I'm still in the air, then the first jump activated does not turn to false. And this is important because I need to distinguish between the act of jumping, the first jump, and my eventual second jump, because the second the jump is done, I should not be able to just jump in the air endlessly. I have to touch the ground again until I do the second jump mechanic. Okay, so that's the hard check. Here's an interesting thought. Is it possible to jump at the same time that the suspensions spring back? I mean, it probably is. Maybe that's why I'm getting why there's such big jumps. Not all of them, though. That doesn't explain all of them. Okay, so... yeah, I can increase the timer. Because it takes more than a second for the car to come back down. 1. I have an actual timer, which you can't see. The window's all effed up. Hey, where is the timer? Hold on. My timer's not active. Why not? Where did my timer go? Oh no, did it get deleted? Phooey. No, there's no graph for it. It's got to be on another one. Why can't I see the timer? Hold on, let's move it over here. Bigger screen. Yeah, my timer is just straight up done, son. Okay. Let's figure out what happened with that. Racing game HUD. Yeah, there it is. So why isn't this applied anymore? What turned off? World settings. Game mode is main menu mode. Open that. No, not you. I was making a main menu, so all this stuff got moved around. I must have replaced the UI. HUD class. It is pointing to HUD. I'm not a fan. Stuff I don't know about. So wait, what's the difference between racing game and main menu? I must know. Racing game. Do I have to like attach the HUD class? Oh, I do. Look at this. Set timer by function name. I have to put all this on the main menu to even use the timer. Oh, no wonder I wasn't getting a timer. I wasn't calculating anything. Anyway, back to it. Alright, using my timer. Yeah, it takes more than a second for the jump to come back down. Should you be able to jump as soon as you get back to the ground? This is where taste comes in. How often should the player be allowed to jump? I think 1 second is too short. Having some pretty fun times doing a pogo stick. But it can't be too long, because otherwise you can't do, like, an obstacle course. It just wouldn't work. So it would have to be... Dude, what's up with my details? Thank you. Let's try to. 2.0. This should make my drifting problem a non-factor. And it limits the amount of jumping I can do. Even if I spam the jump button. 2 is more manageable. I think 2 is too long. It doesn't feel right. So let's try 1.5. We have got to put a clamp on that spring force. It is just too much force when it is sprung back like that. First, I need to know what I'm dealing with. Can't read it. It's all in the Z. 800K, 500K, 300K. 50K is what we need to keep the car suspended. Here's an interesting test. How much K do I need to keep the car suspended while on the loop-de-loop? Because any higher than that shouldn't be necessary, so to speak. So let's see how high we can get it. Oh, crap. Hold on. That's not going to help me. I need to know the length of the vector. I know you can give me the vector length. I know you can. What's it called? I know it's a thing. Yeah, see, it's right there. You are going to give me the vector length. Oh, I see its problem. Okay, let's try that. I need to know how much force is being put on this car. 4,900 to keep it afloat. Cool. Now let's see how high we can get that by going the loop-de-loop. Because again, it shouldn't need to go higher than that. $200K, $240K, 300, 400, 500, almost 600K to keep that thing from grinding into the loop-de-loop. Especially when I speed up. Now let's just do bouncing and see how high it gets. Damn the spring. Ah. So I'm trying to calculate how much spring force I'm applying on this car so I can clamp it so it doesn't go any higher than that. But it's fighting me because I can't replicate the super jump every time. Come on, USOB. Make this easier. Let's go. $350, $700K. That's already too high. That's too high. I didn't catch the number. $2 million? 700k, 800, 900k, 700k, 700k, 800k. Wow. Way too much. That's a problem though, because if it takes 700k of force to keep the car from grinding into the loop-de-loop at full speed, then I'd have to clamp it below that threshold, so it would, while I would solve the springback problem, it would make the driving problem a lot worse. Maybe I should clamp it based on its status. If it's touching the ground, it would make sense for that force to be high. But if I'm in the air, then there would be nothing pushing me down except gravity, which obviously would overpower. If I set it to clamp to below 300k when I'm in the air, would that work? No, because I'm already proving that falling back down to Earth and the moment it hits the ground is the problem. I've just got to clamp the force altogether. But it's not listening to me. Is it possible to clamp a vector? Create a copy of this vector with the magnitude, size, length clamped between min and max. Well, it's worth a shot, I suppose. This has always been the biggest pain in the... Just the biggest pain. Oh, we're not applying it there? It's not. Can I make the font bigger? I can barely see it. No? Thank you. Alright, let's see what happens when I clamp a vector size. I've never tried this before. Didn't really help. I should not be bouncing back higher than my jump. Are my jumps random too? No. My god, look at that. 600k! It should be clamped. It should not be going that high. I just realized something. It's only happening when I press the jump button the same time I bounce back. So I'd be adding my impulse to whatever my bounce back was. So of course it would go beyond 500k. But now I can't bounce back that hard no matter what happens. But if I'm spamming my jump button with a delay of 1, I can technically create a bounce back at the moment a impact. I have to make it so that's not possible. I also have to make it so that it's satisfying to jump the damn car. Well, this is working. I think. Doesn't seem to be able to activate again before the jump is over. But another problem that I'm encountering is that the jump is not consistently reactivating. The jump should come back every 1.5 seconds. Unless I'm in the air. But it's not. Way more than a second and a half. Let's go back to a second. It just doesn't feel right if it's too slow. I don't get it. Why am I not jumping? It's every second I should be able to jump again. Why isn't that working? Tell me that. Something is going on with my jump check. It's crap. Ugh. First jump. If any of them are touching the surface. Then and only then. That's not even true. Every time I press the button, it checks to see if the first jump activated has turned off. And it's checking every tick. After 5 seconds, or sorry, after 1 second, then and only then we'll turn these off if I'm touching the ground. Something is not clearing here in time. It's a pretty open check, too. Any one of these suspension components can be touching the ground, and I should be able to touch it again. So after 1 second passes and I'm touching the ground, first jump will be disabled. And only when first jump is disabled will I add the impulse to the car after I press the button. Gonna add a print string. I don't like it when my checks don't work because it's not obvious when they're not working and why. So I get a little frustrated. Can always tweak that later. Right, hold on. I'm gonna make this the first check. Just every event tick, please and thank you. Come on, come on. Here you go. Now you understand. Don't be dumb. Are you seeing that? The time between it turning true and false is always variable. How is that happening? I don't get it. It shouldn't be 1 second after I hit the damn car. What's happening with my window here? What is this? Really? Oh my god. That was suspension component. Trapped in a tiny window. God, I hate game capture with Unreal. Such a dumb way to do this. I can't do it on my big screen because apparently I can't handle that. And now nothing's working. You clown. Let's try it again. Clown! Okay, so let's brainstorm. Why would the jump not be triggering as soon as I hit the ground? I mean, the timer is 1 second. As soon as I release the jump bar, the timer goes down. That never changes. So what on earth could be causing this issue? Come on. Thank you. I love this song. Oh, wait. I think that might be the problem. Delta timer. Because the duration's not consistent. That's why it's a variable, because it's changing every time I do it based on my processing power. And it's delaying for a random amount of time each time. No wonder it was inconsistent. That's gotta be it. Okay. Let's try it. No. Still inconsistent. There's no excuse now. I'm gonna make it impossibly short. .1 seconds. No delay. There is no excuse for me to not be able to jump immediately after I touch the ground. Okay. Here's a question. Why are the jump amounts also inconsistent? What could be doing that? Jump force is consistent. Impulse is consistent. Timing is not consistent. It's not consistent. How do I... Excuse me. How on earth... do I get this to fire off at the time I need it to? It feels like the jump check is just not working the way it should. So I want to watch the jump check while I do this. Okay, 0.1 seconds seems to be too much. It's not giving me the test I need. Dude. What? this. I'm telling you to give me this. What is happening right now? 2 seconds. We'll do a long time. One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I just noticed I was drifting a little bit. Come on, you SOB. Okay. I have an idea. I'm not a huge fan of it. But we're going to try it. We're going to have this go off every tick. And see if it really is consistent. See, I'm not pressing anything. Boom, bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 ba, da, 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 da. Now that's that's consistent. That is definitely every 2 seconds. Okay, which proves that the delay is working. The mechanics here are working. The problem is the input. I had it so that when it was released, the button would start the delay. But I'm starting to think that might not be a good idea. Let's see if that's a fix. Bump, bump. Why did that break it? Hmm? Yeah, why did that break? How could that happen? Under my current system, when I press the jump button, jump is made active. We check to see if first jump activated is false. We then make it true. We add the impulse. We wait for 5 seconds. We then set the jump to false. When the instant jump is set to false, it is then able to check to see if first jump can go back on to see if it's touching the ground. But if I'm spamming the jump button, is it possible to turn jumped on before first jump activated is false? Well, clearly, yes. We've already proven that. So how the bleeding hell do we avoid it? We could just put this check no, this has to be a tick check. It has to be every tick. Otherwise it's not going to work. We can only turn the jump back on after I've touched the ground. So what I should do is I should add a check here regardless. Branch. If I am in the air, I should not be able to jump, period. Try it again. Broke immediately. How again? Dude, Unreal, stop fighting me. First jump activated. Nope, don't get it. I don't get it. Why is it getting stuck? Don't get it. Stop bouncing, please. Play. Weird things are happening with that car, and I don't like it. There it is. Why doesn't it set it to false? Because jumped is false? No, because jumped is true. Jumped is true, so it can't even check for the first jump activated. I like that my car has yet to slow down. You know why? Because jumped is true, which means my counter speeds aren't active. So the car's just going to keep going forever. Because the jumped never turned to false. That's not true. It turned to false, and I immediately turned it back to true. Because apparently there was a window of time where somehow the first jump was still true, jumped had turned off, but I turned it into false, or I turned it on before first jump got to be reversed. So this is a catch-22. If I tie the first jump to the jump Boolean, then I lose the whole purpose. But I have no other choice. Using the check of in-air should solve this problem regardless. But we have no long... We don't have a choice anymore. We have to set first jump activated to false here. There's no other way this works. I'm just going to go ahead and put it here. Oh, it's the only way this freaking system works. And then... I mean, jump check then becomes pointless. Right, so I'll just turn that off for now. Now the only thing that's being checked is true. And every time that timer runs out, first jump has to reset. It has to. Alright, I think that's our fix. Now we just have to control the timer. And it can't be too short. We're going to disconnect jump check. Okay, and then jump delay timer. Come on, Unreal. I'll results have been filtered. Have they? I don't think they have been. Unreal is fighting me hard, and I don't know why. Just display the variable. It's right there. I have it selected. Whatever. Okay, let's try 1 again. Because I think 1 is a good time. It's just we can't have it while he's in the air. Now we have the secondary problem. Inconsistent spring back. Alright, so here's how I'm going to test this. I'm pretty sure the jump is good to go now, so I'm going to leave that alone. What we're going to do now is we're going to go to our debug, which is what moves the car's position when I press a certain button. And I'm going to change the starting position. Just so we can test this over and over again. At 500 seems to be pretty consistent. Let's increase it to 2,000. Same thing. Sometimes it's half the gray pole. Sometimes it's the full distance of the gray pole. The higher we go, the greater that discrepancy seems to get. You see right there, shouldn't be able to bounce back that high. Now let's go really high. Higher than a jump. It should not be able to get above that pole. Or at least it should be able to hit the height of the pole. it's very inconsistent. But the range of inconsistency seems to be turned down somewhat. My problem is when the jump and the bounce back are triggered at the same time, it creates a ridiculously high bounce that should not otherwise be possible. All right, even higher. I should eventually max this out. I use the letters as a reference. Got halfway up to the text. That way it didn't even reach the text. Okay. That actually seems pretty consistent. There is some variation, but it's within the realms of tolerance. What I need is for it to not go that high when it bounces back. I need it to have a cap for how high it can bounce back. You know what I mean? 1 million. Boy. Take forever to fall. But I need to see where it caps out. Because it's got to cap out. That's how I designed the suspension to work. Because if it's not capping out, then we have a problem. Wow. It's not capping. You see that? It was moving so fast that it clipped through the ground and didn't even trigger. Damn. Right, let's turn the jump print string off. Instead, let's have the suspension components print that force again. Or rather, let's just be drastic and say don't go above 50k and see if that fixes anything. Because it should not be able to bounce back that high. Period. Period. It should cap out at a certain number. It's like it didn't do anything. Clamp didn't work at all. Good to know. Why am I still getting such big numbers? Is it just plain ignoring my code? The vector doesn't go beyond z of 5. What? Multiplying the vector and limiting it to 5? What? If it's 0, 0, 5, why does it go so goddamn huge? That one is straight up not activating. It's just this one. Okay, I wasn't expecting this. Yes, the EXP bar is indeed full, but I'm going to reserve it for Friday's stream because doing it for these streams wouldn't be fair. So we'll do it first thing Friday. Let everybody know. Or maybe last thing Friday. I don't know. By default, sounds pretty fair. Yeah, I'm sure it would. Okay, so this is just about me fundamentally not understanding how Unreal does this. Oh, sorry. Because I have straight up limited the force to a vector of 5. Can't go beyond 5. But it is still applying a massive force at the moment of impact. And yet is completely failing at every other moment to hold up the car. How could both of these things be true? Unless... Oh, of course. I think I know what it is. It's the physics. What happens when you drop something with perfect force, no air drag, and perfect elasticity and friction? It hits the ground and it will bounce back exactly the same way. It's not just going to on the ground. It's going to bounce back a little bit. That's what's happening to the car. regardless of springs. The springs are basically not even active right now, and the car is still bouncing. That's something I didn't even remotely consider, is that the bounciness of the car is based on how high the freaking car is. Like any other normal physics object. And because the car is so elastic by physics standards, most of the energy in the fall goes into the bounce back. And it will just keep falling until it just crashes down. But there is a problem with that theory. It should bounce more than a couple of times. It should bounce pretty freaking often if it has that much energy. So let's watch what happens. It's gonna bounce. It's gonna bounce pretty high. I want to be able to see the top of the second ramp just barely. Not just barely. Okay. Coming in for the second hit. Boom, stops. Why? Why would it possibly do that on the second bounce? Whoa, what? A delayed reaction? What the flip? Unreal physics is definitely a headache to deal with, I'll tell you what. Alright, I need to prove this beyond a shadow of doubt. I'm going to make it so that there's absolutely no force activating on these suspensions whatsoever. And I want to see how much it bounces from that height. Because if it bounces as high as it did before, that's proof that the springs have nothing to do with it. I just always assumed that they did. But what I didn't take into consideration is that the car is hitting the ground, which means it's bouncing back. Yeah, see, look at that. Wow. I did not consider that whatsoever. See, that was a pretty normal second bounce. Wow, okay. No clamp. No clamp at all. And you just make that sucker as insanely high as you can get. 100K, 1 mil. What happens if I do that? That happens. Okay. The spring coefficient essentially tells me how stiff those springs are. But there is a bounciness to them. There is. We need to make it so that they are stiff enough they will absorb any impact that the car has, and yet flexible enough so that they don't zoom me out into space every time I bounce. Because essentially what I'm trying to make happen is to make it so that this car never hits the ground, so it doesn't bounce back. The only thing that should be bouncing is the springs. But I've already hit a threshold. I just don't think it's going to work. You see, 10,000 is already too much. And if I drop it from a height like this, maybe I should make a separate calculation for this? Like straight up limit how much linear velocity the car has at all times, so it can never go beyond a certain threshold. Not even with gravity. Would that even be possible? I need the stiffness of the springs. I need the suspension to be strong enough to resist the loop-de-loop, which is at least 10K. But we're at 20K right now, and it's too bouncy. Hell, 10K is too bouncy. Come on. See what I mean? It's not consistent. Oh, what was that? So frustrating. Let's see what my options are. Is there a way to limit how much? Well, this is where drag force comes in, right? Right now it's 0.01, which is nothing. Let's make it 1. Doesn't fix the bounciness, but maybe it fixes the terminal velocity. Okay, that was a little too much. We're on the right track. Yeah, we want the car to be able to fall, but we don't want it to just keep accelerating. At some point, it's just got to stop accelerating. That's going down. Ah, so this is an important factor here. Oh, yes. gas. That turned down for what so much? So here's a question. What is a car's terminal velocity? I don't think that'll actually help out here, but... yeah, I know what terminal velocity is. I want a car's terminal velocity. (200 and 300 miles per hour). Okay. So let's increase it. I am now messing with the drag to see if I can limit how fast a car can fall. Because the gravity is where I need it to be, but I also need it to not go insanely fast if it's too far up. Because the bounce back of this car is getting insane. I can't let it be a ping pong ball, so I need it to drag. That's a reasonable bounce. Here's the problem. I am trying to make a terminal velocity, yes. The problem, though, is that I think I now have slowed down my car significantly by doing so. Because it's not going to want to speed up with this linear velocity on it. This damping is going to make things so much more difficult. Oh, God, yeah, look at that. Ah! Because the linear damping doesn't just work as falling, it works in all speed. So by setting it to 0.2 or whatever, I've completely undone all the work I did for my speed. Why does this keep happening? Dude. God, why does it keep doing this? Unreal is pissing me off so much right now. Windows keep desizing. Not doing what I want them to. Come on. There, Jesus. Okay, so. BB box car. We just can't have linear damping like that. It's just not going to work. It has to be the default. So the problem I'm dealing with is that the car is springy. And it's springy even without the springs. I turn the springs off and the car still wants to bounce like a ping pong ball. Logically speaking, I'm probably not going to drop a car from 1 million units up high. So maybe it's a moot point, but it just feels like I've got to be able to counter that somehow. And then we're back to the spring issue, which God dang it, I still can't figure out. I definitely need to clamp the suspension components. That is a must. We just can't let the force of that spring get too out of control. We can't let it happen. The problem is its consistency. What is this? Oh my god. It turned BB Boxcar into a tiny little frickin' window. Why does it keep doing that? Every time I unplay the game, the window gets taken out. This is so annoying. Stop doing that. Just stop doing it. Jesus Christ. It's making everything 10 times harder. Okay. Jesus. Add force at location. Clamping the force between 0 and 100k. Clearly that's not enough. We know for a fact that we need at least 500k to regularly keep this car up and at it in this form. It's going to peak to 600 and 700k when I'm riding the loop-de-loop. Definitely falling faster. Yeah, the force of the spring maxed out for sure. I'm going to go until I'm satisfied. Good question. I don't really have a end goal here. Because I'm not really sure where to turn next. It is basically the time for end of stream. I did start a little late. So I guess I'll go for a couple more minutes. Wow, come on. But yeah, we're nearing the end. All right, let's see if the loop-de-loop is, if I'm grinding the car at all. Yep, sure am. Okay, I'll have to raise it to like 1,000,000 for the cap. That's fair. If I'm boosting into the loop-de-loop, I'll need to be able to resist. But beyond that, this has been a problem since day one. I wonder if I need to like dissect this and see if there's a way to like, I don't know, change when and where the springs activate such drastic force. Like if I'm in the air, it should be like halve the power. If I'm on the ground, it should be like all the power. But I'm also having trouble deciding how much of that should be fixed. God damn, this is complicated. This is way too complicated. Oh, I've made quite a beast here. And this is the core of the whole thing. So I think I should just spend the rest of tonight not on stream figuring this out, because I can't really proceed until I figure this out. A question that's unrelated to this. What happened with Professor's picks? Oh, right. So I wanted to continue doing that. And I technically still am with Subnautica. That will basically be reserved on Sundays until the game is done. But we'll be a bit more freeform about it. So basically, multiplayer will be focused on whatever we're feeling, and single player for Sundays will be focused on whatever game I want to finish. Because Fridays, I still want to dedicate to new games. I think I should be doing Friday Fun a little less, because I think a new game every week might be too much now. So maybe we could alternate, like new game one week, single player game Friday next week, and then we'll just alternate. Because the catalog of games I need to play is only growing by the week. So I think I'm going to switch to that, at least for now. But yeah, basically Professor's Picks will be Sundays from now on. It's probably my best answer. Okay, before I go insane, I might as well just end stream there. I don't really have much more I can offer for tonight. Like I said, I need to dissect this and just figure out what exactly I want, how to apply it, and do it without completely removing this whole system, because the system works. Every time I look at the spaghetti code, the mind becomes spaghetti. So I just need to be able to break this down. It's going to take some time. So I will end things there. Thank everyone for hanging out. Anyone who's watching this, I appreciate you. We will be doing this again tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be focusing more on the racing aspect. I think it's about time we start setting up race mechanics. Have a proper track, just a good old circle NASCAR track, just to finally have race mechanics be defined. And then once that's done, we can finally start moving on to multiplayer and bots, because right now I'm focusing on mechanics that don't matter all that much compared to the speed. So once the spring issue is fixed, then we can do race mechanics, then multiplayer. Hopefully tomorrow will be a fun time. But in any case, thank you all so much. I will see you tomorrow. And as always, enjoy.